Welcome.
Hi.
It's literally Valentine's Day. It's a great time to start doing this. So, I'm Hannah.
I'm Kenna.
Hi.
Hi. So, we tried to record this a few days ago, and we recorded like an hour long of footage, and it was too big to send to each other. So, we're going to try this again. In the future, if you guys want a special episode of us posting our pilot episode, let us know, and we will definitely do that because it was really funny.
Yes, it was really long, and we had a lot of really cool content to talk about, so.
Yeah, and this episode is just us going to be talking about college parties, because we had a lot.
Yes, we have quite a few stories from many different parties. And so, before we start that, I have a really cool story time that I wanted to tell Kenna because I've been dying to tell her, but I said I would wait until we started recording. So, I started working today, and I went in at like 8 o'clock in the morning. And every morning, usually there's like a FedEx guy that comes and drops something off. And he's super cool. And so he came in today and I was like, hey dude, what's up? Happy Valentine's Day. And he's like, where's your Valentine? And I was like, sir, you tell me where's my Valentine. And he's just like, where's your boyfriend at? And I was like, I don't know. And he's just like, when's your birthday? And I was like, March. He's like, how old are you? And I was like, I'm 20, sir. Mr. FedEx driver. He's like, can I get your Instagram? And I was like, no.
No.
He's like, well, can I at least get it so I can, like, watch? He literally did this. He's like, can I watch at least? And I was like, no. Ugh. No, sir. Old men do this, too, when I'm at work. When I ask for their phone number to put into the system. They're like, I'm sorry, sweetheart, I don't think we're the right age. I'm like, that's okay. Stop.
How old was this dude?
He was probably like mid-20s, maybe.
Was he hot at least?
He has great personality.
At least he's got one thing going for him.
He wasn't bad looking, but he just wasn't my type.
Understandable.
Anyways, that was my Valentine's Day story. Still single.
I've just been sitting at home crying and drinking wine.
Have you been?
Great.
Literally, she says this, but literally she has a guy that she's going on a date with tomorrow.
Yeah, but it's like a situationship. Like, we're not exactly dating yet. Like, we're going out, but it's not, like, official.
You're in the field, okay?
He's a contender.
That's good. He's got at least he has a shot. Like,
Most men don't have a shot with me anymore.
that's honestly getting to the point where I'm at.
Yeah, it's a problem.
Okay. Oh, quite literally, like, your picture just, like, went like that, and then it came back. I don't know. Okay. So, anyways, which story do you have anything you want to add before we get into these spicy stories? Because I'm excited.
Absolutely not.
Okay, so we have a lot of interesting college stories. Mm-hmm. So we basically went out to at least one party at least every week on a Thursday, basically. I'm pretty sure Thursdays was because it was the best for, like, every person that was throwing the parties.
Yeah, there was one specific basement party that happened every Thursday.
Yeah, because the people who lived there, they had no classes the next day.
Yeah, no, occasionally it would get canceled, but that would be because of, like, snow or something.
Yeah, but, like, that didn't stop people from partying.
No, we still went when that basement was flooded.
Yes, literally, winter was so terrible because you, like, wanted to look hot, but you also were like, should I wear winter boots? Because it was basically a garage, and it was, when everything started melting, it was flooded. But, like, who cared? Everyone's having a good time.
We all had, like, one set pair of shoes that was for that party.
Yes, because you knew at least something of yours was going to get damaged or dirty. Or lost.
Yeah.
because
lost.
you had nowhere to put anything. You just had to have faith that like you put it down somewhere and no one else was gonna pick it up.
There was many times where Hannah would set down her bag and look at me and be like, remember where I put this.
Oh yeah, I was not gonna remember.
No, and like every 30 minutes we would go and check up on it and see if it's still there.
Right. And so I literally lost my favorite like purple hoodie. The little zip-up hoodie.
That.
Oh, it was like one of the last parties too that I went to and I lost it. And I know it's at
I thought it's fine.
We're gonna bleep out any names because we're gonna keep this very authentic and anonymous. Because it's in the past. It's in the past. We have nothing against any of the people that we're gonna talk about. It's just really fun college stories that we're gonna keep with us for the rest of our lives.
Oh my gosh. So are we gonna start with what should we name him?
Animal.
Yeah, the animal story. We're just gonna name him Beast. His name is Beast.
Okay, so we have a story about the Beast.
He had an animal nickname, but
yes, he's on that realm of animal. So, I think we were at this party. It was our usual hangout spot every Thursday night. And the one thing that everyone knows is that you can't just go to the bathroom without anyone. You have to bring your girlfriends. It's just like, oh, I have to go to the bathroom. Who wants to come with me? And probably like 5 girls will raise their hand. It's like, let's all go together. Because that's just girl culture. And when you're at a party, you have to be safe. And you also need someone else to watch the door in case someone walks in.
yeah, because that door didn't have a lock on it. Well, it did, but the lock was like broken. You could like.
And a lot of people knew how to pick that lock. So like you would be going to the bathroom and you'd hear it jiggling and stuff, and you'd be like, "Don't you dare use that fake nail to turn the lock." And so we all realized that the bathroom downstairs was like being used, and there was a long line. And so someone told us that there was a bathroom upstairs. So we start.
The dude I was flirting with.
Oh no, that's true because he was at the top of the stairs when it happened. So we all
I was
headed
at the bottom of the stairs talking to him.
Yeah, so we all made our way through the house and then up the stairs. And all of a sudden, you just hear like this ringing noise, like ring, 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 ring. And all of a sudden, you hear the Beast is in his bedroom upstairs because he lived at the party house. He is revving a chainsaw upstairs in his bedroom.
And then we hear the other dude that I was flirting with, we're gonna call him like Billy.
Billy.
We're gonna call him Billy. So we heard Billy yelling at being like, get off, get out of your room, get out of your room. And then all of a sudden we hear a loud thump. And I have to bleep out his name because I just said his name.
Yeah.
But we heard a loud thump. And Beast literally broke down his door with the chainsaw.
No, literally the guy who was trying to open the door kicked his door in first with his boot.
Oh.
He eventually kicked it in with his boot. It had like a boot-sized hole in like the bottom, like the foot of the door. And then eventually when he got the door open, we have a video of this, so we actually remember it. He literally walks into his friend/roommate's room. He grabs the chainsaw from it, and you just see him leaving the room with the chainsaw. And you just hear someone saying, "Okay, that's it. Everyone out. Everyone out. Party's over. Get out." And literally, you just see he had, like, overalls on.
Yeah.
He had overalls on. And at some point, the shirt under his overalls was missing. He came out with no shirt on underneath. So he's just wearing jean material overalls.
And I peeked into Beast's door, like Beast's room, to see like what was happening, and you could see like a chainsaw like hole in his wall. So he was like, that's why he had the chainsaw on. He was like renovating his room.
Wait, no. Wait, okay.
Yeah.
Obviously you had a better view than I did. Are you serious? No one told me that.
Yep.
He actually put it through his wall.
Yep.
I thought he was just revving it.
Nope.
Oh!
No, that's why I thought that he had cut his door down, because I remember now that Billy knocked his door in, and then why he was using the chainsaw was that he cut a hole in the wall. It was like a very small hole, but I remember Billy being like, Beast, what the fuck are you doing? And he's like, I'm renovating my room. I wanted this wall gone.
Dude, he was so on it. He's like, I have a design. I have to... He was on a mission, this dude.
Yeah.
And then later that night, do you remember, he got on the pole.
I do remember that.
So, not only did the Beast have this great immense of, I am the star of this party tonight feeling going on, by the end of the party, where we partied, it had like this little like tabletop or whatever. And then on the top of it, it had a stripper pole or whatever for you to dance on if you wanted to. And let me tell you, it never failed. Every party. It's just like, who's next? Everyone wanted to be up on it. And trust me, we had our time.
So since you mentioned the pole, we're going to jump to our next story.
Yes, but basically at the end of the party, was on that pole dancing like no tomorrow. He was looking for those $1 tips. He's just like, I just had my chainsaw taken away. Let's just do some stripper pole next.
I love Beast. So there were a few times where we had gotten onto the pole, you, me, and our mutual friend, and we were all just shaking our ass, dancing on the pole like nothing was wrong. I remember one night, it was the first and the last time I went to that party with heels on. I got onto the pole, and that night it was you, me, and our mutual friend, and like 3 other girls. So there was like 6 girls on like this small stage.
Oh, it was so tiny.
It was so tiny, and we could not all fit.
If you wanted to make sure that you didn't fall, you had to hold on to the rafters of the garage to make sure that you didn't fall off, because that's how high up it was.
Yep. And I was doing some spins on the pole. I was having the time of my life. And
quite literally, we just cut off because something was going on with Kenna's computer. And it was so hilarious because we called each other back and neither one of us can hear each other. But for some reason, I knew every single word that Kenna was saying. And when I tried talking back to her, she replied immediately with the right response. And it was the most hilarious thing ever. Anyways.
So, back to the stripper pole. Basically, what I was saying before we got cut off and my video stopped working, I was dancing on the pole with a bunch of girls, me, Hannah, our mutual friend, and then 3 other girls. And it was very tight. And I accidentally booty bumped our mutual friend, and I slipped, and my heel, like the little, like the heel and then like the toe part got stuck on the stage, and I like tried to stay up, but I couldn't, and I fell right on my butt.
Oh jeez, I don't even remember this.
Yeah, because you were blackout drunk.
I know, but like, how else do you party?
So was I.
But that's fine.
Yeah, no. So I had like this bruise, like probably like this big on my butt cheek. And I couldn't sit down for a week. I was like sitting down like this for like a week.
Yeah, we can't trust Kenna with her own body. especially at a party.
Should I mention when I broke my ankle again at the party?
Yeah, let's start with do your ankle story.
Okay, so I broke my ankle twice in college. And not just twice in college, twice in 4 months.
Oh, yeah.
So I broke my ankle the first time because I did dog training at our college. And I got attacked by this German Shepherd. He wasn't, like, vicious or anything. Like, he wasn't trying to bite me. He just was a really big and fat German Shepherd. And I am like at that time, I was very underweight. I was like 105.
Yeah.
I was very tiny and I could barely hold myself up. And the dog got annoyed with me because he was in play mode and I was in training mode. And he jumped on my shoulders and I lost balance and fell and my ankle like twisted and I landed on my ankle. And my professor immediately knew I broke my ankle. But me being stubborn and having a party the next day, I was like, no, I didn't break my ankle. I'm fine. So I went to that basement party that is every Thursday the next night.
Oh boy. Was it the one where the nosebleed?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll tell that story next. But
Yeah.
I went to the party the next night, and then that night at like midnight, my ankle was like the size of my head. So my old best friend, we're gonna name her Susie.
Susie.
My old best friend Susie.
Shout out to Susie.
I called her at like midnight after that party because I left early because I was in so much pain. Even the 6 fireballs that I drank could not stop my pain.
Yes.
So I
Alcohol
called her.
does not medicate everything.
No, I called her. She came over to my dorm, checked out my ankle, and my ankle was like the size of her head.
Yeah. It was big. You sent me photos.
Yeah, and it was like entirely black and blue. And she's like, okay, can you move it? And I'm like, yeah, I can move it. And I went to go move it, and it wasn't moving. And I'm like, no, I can't move it. I can walk on it, but I can't like bend it very well.
Yeah.
And so like I could bend it, but it just hurt too. So she stayed the night at my dorm because I could barely walk. And then at like 6 o'clock in the morning, we went to urgent care and they're like, yeah, you just sprained it. It's fine. So they gave me crutches and a very, very tiny brace that probably did nothing.
Uh-huh.
And then at the basement party, a couple months later, it was the weekend of my birthday.
Uh-huh.
So I was partying so hard. So hard. And I have a video of the moment I broke my ankle.
Oh, yeah.
I was recording me, our friend, and then a couple other people, and I hand the phone to one of our other friends. And you just hear me bloody murder scream. And I had slipped, so like the basement was flooded, and there was like a coat of ice underneath it, and I didn't know there was like a coat of ice. Because I had pretty good shoes that had pretty good traction. But I was dancing when I handed the phone to her, and I fell, and my ankle cracked, and you just hear me scream so loud. And our mutual friend wanted to take me home. Hannah had already left, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if you were here or not.
I think I was there.
I don't remember.
Maybe.
I was pretty obliterated. I don't remember. But our mutual friend wanted to take me home because I was limping, and I'm like, no, it's my birthday. I'm gonna stay. So I stayed for like another 3 hours.
Oh
dancing
my gosh.
and jumping around on my broken ankle.
Jump around.
And then the next day, I didn't go to classes because I could not walk very well.
Mm-hmm.
Called my old best friend Susie again and was like, hey, I think I broke my ankle again. And she just looked at me and she's like, we need to wrap you in bubble wrap. Like, what are you doing?
Were you not the one who had like the one-legged scooter?
No, that was another girl.
Okay.
I used it a couple times though to get to class.
I was gonna say, I remember helping someone down the big hill with the scooter.
Yeah, no, so I had another friend who got hit by a car, and she broke her ankle, and that was like a week before I broke mine again.
It is very common where we went to college that people would get hit by a car.
I don't understand. I don't get it.
It's because the parking lot was right across the road, and there's only one road.
Yeah, I broke my ankle again. And the first time when they said it was sprained, I got in another x-ray. And they're like, oh yeah, it looks like you broke it in the same spot. And I'm like, same spot? And they're like, yeah, when you obviously broke it like a few months ago. Like I can see the crack. And I'm like, I broke it? They're like, yeah, it was broken. Like, did you do anything for it? I'm like, I had a brace and used crutches for like 2 weeks. And they're like, 2 weeks? You're supposed to use them for 4.
You didn't know it was broken the first time?
They told me it was sprained. And the doctor said that there was a very obvious crack, so it was definitely broken. And so basically they gave me a boot so I could still like walk when it was good enough for me to walk, and I had crutches for 6 weeks instead of 4 because my ankle was too weak after the 4 weeks, and I went to physical therapy and they're like, no, your ankle's too messed up, you need to use your crutches for like another 2 weeks. And I remember our Walmart trips where I would use the scooters because I couldn't walk around, and I kept
the motorized carts.
Yeah, I kept running into everything because I did not know how to drive it.
I remember you Snapchatted me videos.
Yeah, I used to go to Walmart all the time with my friends because, like, there was barely anything to do in our town other than party or go to Walmart.
It was a very big college town, though. You always knew how to make a fun time out of a boring town.
Yeah, but, so we would always go to Walmart, and I would just be going around in that scooter, running everyone over and everything over.
Beep, beep. Yes.
And my ankle to this day is still not okay. Like, it still hurts occasionally. I'm always going to have arthritis in it unless I get surgery in the future. And it's still very weak. Like, when I walk around too much, it still hurts a little bit.
We love making the wrong decisions. It's okay. Would it have been like that either way? Or if, like, was it because you broke it twice?
It was because I broke it twice, and the first time it didn't heal correctly.
And you swear the doctor said it was just,
Yeah.
You just fractured it?
Yeah, well, he said it was, a major sprain.
Mm-hmm.
And he told me to come back after 2 weeks to check up on it. And after the 2 weeks, he's like, can you walk? And I'm like, yeah, but it hurts a little bit. And he's like, okay, just wear your brace for another 2 weeks and you're fine.
Was this at the hospital or was it at the
It was at the
clinic?
Hospital.
Wow.
It was at the emergency room in the hospital. The second
they must be tired.
The second time was urgent care because I needed to get in, like, as soon as possible.
Yeah. That hospital must be tired of seeing college students come in.
I was just like, I was so annoyed when I found out I actually broke it the first time.
Yeah.
Our next story is about a mutual best friend that we both used to have, and this is actually how we met each other.
This is how a lot of people in college met each other.
Yeah, so we had this friend. We're gonna name him
Jackson?
Jonah.
Jonah. Okay.
He seems like a Jonah. We're gonna name him Jonah.
Okay.
So he was very popular in college, but not for a good reason.
Yes.
He used to join the college group chats, like the freshman group chats, and meet a bunch of new freshmen and try to get to meet everyone as possible. So everyone knew him.
Yeah.
And he was a very close friend of mine until this night when I realized that he was very problematic. So the night before Halloween, I was getting ready to go to a party with my old best friend Susie. And me and her were already like completely ready in our outfits and everything. And he messaged us and said, hey, I'm going to the party tonight. And we're like, since when? You don't party. And he goes, yeah, but I heard it's going to be really low key, so I want to go with you guys. And I'm like, okay, whatever, it's fine. Because he usually doesn't drink.
He does not. And I'm surprised that this even exists.
Yeah, he does not drink. So we went to this party, and it was a frat house / sorority house. So the bottom level was a sorority house. The top house was a frat house. And the dude that was there was a very close friend of mine. Still pretty close. I used to hang out with him all the time. So I was at that party, and it was like 6 boys plus the owner of the house. And then me, my roommate, our best friend, Jonah, and then my old best friend, and then a couple of her friends. So there was probably like 20 at most people there, which for those parties is not a lot at all. So it was very low key. It was just us like all in a circle, just talking, drinking, doing the devil's lettuce, having the time of our lives. and I really had to go to the bathroom. But I used it as an excuse to get away from Jonah for a minute. Because the bathroom is connected, so there's 2 doors. There's the one that you enter, and then there's a door next, like, on the wall that leads to my friend's room, the owner of the house.
Yeah.
And so I went to the bathroom, and then I knocked on his door. He unlocked it, and I walked in, and I'm like, do you want to do the devil's lettuce? Like, I can't stand Jonah right now, and I need a break. So before I did that, I handed Jonah my drink, and it was a hefty drink.
Hefty.
It was quite a hefty alcohol drink. And I knew he doesn't drink, and I did not know, like, any of the boys at the party, so I trusted Jonah with my drink. Bad idea. So I was probably in the bathroom, also known as my friend's room, for like 20 minutes, like enough to do the devil's lettuce. So I was in there for quite a long time, and then I snuck back into the bathroom and walked out the bathroom door so that Jonah didn't know that I was in my friend's room. And so I come back out, I take my drink from him, and it was empty.
Oh my gosh.
And it was basically like full. And I'm just gonna put it out there, it was a Four Loko. So and it wasn't just any Four Loko, it was a Four Loko Max. So it was like 12% alcohol. And he drank the entire thing within 20 minutes. And he doesn't drink. Okay, so that's just the start of it. I opened up a bottle of tequila with my friend, the owner of the house. We're gonna name him Tobias. I don't know.
Tobias.
We're gonna name him Tobias. Okay,
Oh my goodness.
Tobias and I were opening up a bottle of tequila, and Jonah walks over and he's like, "Hey, can I have a shot?" And I'm like, "Okay, whatever." So I gave him one shot, and then me, Tobias, and Susie were all talking. I look over in the corner of my eye, and I just see Jonah drinking the tequila by the bottle. He wasn't pouring it in a shot glass or a solo cup. He was drinking it by the bottle, a bottle that we all were using to pour into shot glasses, so already disgusting. An hour goes by, and I realize that Jonah is blackout.
I was expecting you to say Jonah was on the roof, because...
No, he was blackout.
Just imagine him, like, he took all of his clothes off and got on the roof.
He was blackout, and he was trying to make friends so hard, like talking to everyone, telling everyone all of his dirty personal details, his sex life, everything.
It was a common thing.
It was a common thing. And he thought that he was the life of the party. He changes the music and put on Victorious, which, like, is a bop, but wasn't the
But
vibe.
at that party, no. But at a sorority party, no.
At a sorority party where you don't own the house, no.
No, that was bad.
And then he stood on the couch and yells, "Let's do karaoke!" Where we were all sitting in a circle talking to each other. It was very casual. And I'm like, karaoke, yeah, fine, but not at this party.
I would have checked out immediately.
You are not, hold on, I'm getting there. You are not the owner of the house. Like, you cannot do this. And no one here knows you except for me, Susie, my roommate, and our friend. Like, no one knew you at this party.
Yeah.
20 minutes later, I was like, okay, Jonah, time to go home. Let's go. Like, let's pack out of here. Like, 5 people already left. So let's just go. And he looks at me and he goes, "No, I think I'm going to stay."
Oh.
Like, how do you expect to get home? He's like, "I'll walk." And at this point, me being so fed up with him, Susie was already going to stay. So I was like, "Okay, Susie, you have Jonah for the night. I'm sorry. I love you." And I dipped. And then I got like 3 consecutive calls from Susie. And I was like half asleep. So I did not answer the first 2. And then I answered the second one, and she was screaming at me. And she was just like, "I don't know what to do with him. He won't leave. It's just me, him, Tobias, and then Tobias's roommate, and he won't freaking leave. He keeps drinking the alcohol. I don't know what to do." And Tobias, I just heard Tobias go, "Leave him there. Like, leave him here. I'll have him for the night." He was going to spend the night at Tobias's room. I fall asleep. Like 4 o'clock in the morning, I get a knock on my door. Who is it? Jonah. How he got into my dorm building? I don't know, because
How did he get into your building? That is like key code access.
Yeah, I know. I was about to say, our ID cards, we need to swipe them to get into our dorms, and they stop working at like 12.
And even then, there's someone at, like, the counter to, like, make sure that, like, no one who doesn't live in the building can get in.
Yeah, but at 3, the RAs are like done with their shift.
Yeah, but, like,
But I'm like,
that's just insane.
How did he get in? So I opened up my door thinking it was my RA.
Huh.
And like the building was on fire or something. So I opened up my door and I was like, Jonah, why are you here? And he was like stumbling, like he was like leaning up against the wall to stay up. And he's just like, I couldn't make it back to my dorm. I don't know what to do, blah blah blah. And I'm like, dude, your dorm is like 2 minutes away.
Closer?
Yeah, it was like closer.
It was closer to walk to his dorm.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, whatever.
Which he actually had the key to.
Mm-hmm. So I lived in a double by myself, so I had 2 beds at the time. So I made my bed, had him stay there, and then I fell asleep with my AirPods in because he was snoring. The next morning at like 6:00 in the morning, so I'd only slept for like 2 hours probably. He woke up and immediately threw up on my carpet.
The green one?
No, I still have the green one. It was my black fuzzy one that I had for like only a couple months because he threw up on it.
Damn.
But he threw up on it. And I'm like, okay, great, whatever. And then he proceeds to yell at me because I let him go to the party. And I'm like, not my fault. You are a free human. I am not in charge of you.
Yes. Like, don't ever blame someone for your misfortune because that was clearly on Jonah.
Yeah, I was like, you went to the party. You wanted a drink. I'm not going to stop you. I told you it was a bad idea multiple times and you still did it.
Yeah.
I even yelled at him for drinking my Four Loko. Like, I told him it was a bad idea. So, a day goes by. I forget about it because I'm a good human. And I'm like, he's just drunk. He's hungover. He's in a bad mood. Namaste. So, pray to my lords above. The next day was Halloween. And me and Susie were getting ready to go to the main party. The basement party. The Thursday parties. But this time it was on a weekend because Halloween.
Right.
So we knew it was going to be lit. And we're like...
Yes. It was like a 4-day event.
We're like, one night without Jonah. Let's go. So you're getting ready. Jonah shows up to Susie's dorm. Dressed up in a costume.
What was he dressed up as?
A Hufflepuff because we had got him that costume because we all were wearing matching costumes. She was Ravenclaw, I was Slytherin, and he was Hufflepuff.
Oh my goodness.
So we got him those matching costumes like the night before. And so I was dressed up in my Draco Malfoy costume. She was dressed up as Luna Lovegood, and then he was dressed up as Cedric Diggory.
Oh, perfect.
So he just walks in, and we're like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, I'm ready to go. Like we're going to the basement party, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, we're going to the basement party." Not we're going to the basement party. And he's like, oh, I thought we were all going. And I'm like, you just yelled at me yesterday for letting you go to a Halloween party last night. Why would you expect me to just take you to another one?
Yeah.
Like, no, not going to happen. If you want to go, you can find your own way there.
That's like taking your 4-year-old child to a restaurant.
Yeah, I was
like a 5-star restaurant.
I flat out told him, I was like, Jonah, I love you, but I don't want to babysit you the entire night. We told him we weren't going to take him. If he wanted to go, he could find a different way there.
Yeah.
He didn't find a different way there. So he went back to his dorm. I felt bad. I did. I felt bad, but I was just like, you yelled at me, gave me this big, huge, long speech about how you wanted me to tell you not to go. So I told you not to go. At the party, I was on Snapchat recording videos and stuff, and I get this long 3-paragraph message from Jonah about how he's not friends with me anymore because I obviously don't care about him. If I did care about him, I would understand his mistakes and blah, blah, blah. I do understand your mistakes. That's why I told you not to go. I know that once you get there, you're not going to control yourself, and then you're going to be mad at me because I didn't control you. And that's not my job. Mm-hmm. And that was the beginning of the end of our friendship.
Yeah, and a lot of people realized that, like, that semester.
Yeah, because we all were just like, we can't babysit him anymore. He's
second semester was basically like, We need to move on from this person.
Yeah, and like to this day, I still kind of feel bad about how I acted and like the things I said to him. But also,
He needed to grow up.
he needed to grow up.
And he needed to hear it.
And he has grown up.
Next story is going to be very quick. It's about a certain person. We will not say the name because it is very trademarked where we went to college.
We're just going to call him SoundCloud Rapper.
SoundCloud Rapper. So, Mr. Rapper. First time I ever met him was at the basement party. And it was getting like kind of hot, kind of crowded downstairs. So we went upstairs to like the kitchen area or whatever. And I just remember it was me and Kenna. And we were just like kind of, cooling off. And all of a sudden this guy comes in. It's Mr. SoundCloud Rapper. And he has the worst bloody nose I've ever seen in my life. It's coming out. Trigger warning for anyone who has like an thing about blood. It's just like pouring out, and he's just trying to find stuff to like hold up to his nose, and he's talking at the same time. And he's not the most aware of what he's doing. And so like
he doesn't have social cues.
He doesn't have social cues. This is that type of person. And he's trying to have a conversation with me as he's gushing blood. And it's like in his hands, it's getting on the ground in the kitchen. And I'm just standing here like, Kenna, I was a little bit out of it. So I was like, Kenna, can we please go? Like, I think he's gonna get his DNA on me. So I had to get out of there. So I went back down into the basement. I was like, there's probably mold, asbestos, and other stuff down here. But as long as it's not this guy's blood, I'm good. So anyways, that was the basement party. He was always at other parties and stuff.
Yeah, the night that I met him was at the gazebo outside of my dorm.
Oh.
Me, one of my old friends in our friend group, we're all staying at the gazebo, and here comes Mr. SoundCloud Rapper. And I turn around and I'm like, who is this man? And he comes up to us and he sits down and just starts playing his SoundCloud music. And I'm like, oh honey, this is not the group to do this with. Like, this is not the group to do this with. We are judgmental people. Like, this is not. So my friend, he's pretty big and buff. We're gonna call him AJ.
Okay.
AJ looks over at him and goes, is this your music? And SoundCloud Rapper goes, yeah, don't you think it's dope? And AJ just paused for a minute and goes, it's not the wording I would use. And that's a polite way of putting it. He's just like, that's not the wording I would use.
Mr. SoundCloud Rapper was very popular for showing up to parties, paying for alcohol at the parties, and then proceedingly dumping it on the ground.
And then saying that he was drunk.
Yes. He was still popular, though.
He was really funny to hang out with. Like, he was a genuinely funny person.
Yeah.
But it's because he didn't try to be funny.
Yes. He just had a lot of social issues.
But that's not, like, what made him funny. It's just, like, his randomness that made him funny.
Yeah.
Like,
personality. It's all about personality.
Yeah, like, I protected this dude with all of my heart because I felt so bad for him. I thought of him as, like, my little brother.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember one night at the basement party, he got so obliterated that he couldn't walk. Like, we just see him, like, half asleep on the couch.
I remember this.
We just see him half asleep on the couch, surrounded by, like, bottles of beer. And this was probably the first night that he actually drank his alcohol. And so me, my roommate, and Tony were like, hey, are you good? Like, we're about to go home. And he's like, yeah, I'm good. I'm just gonna walk with you guys. And he, like, gets up and then falls back into the couch.
Yeah.
So our friend throws him over his shoulder, and we walk out of the basement party. Halfway home, he realizes, oh, this dude's actually kind of heavy. So me, my roommate, and our friend all proceeded to carry this man back to his dorm. And when he gets to his dorm, he realizes he lost his ID.
To get into his building?
To get into his building.
Oh my god.
Well, we got into his building because my roommate's friend lives in that building and she had her ID card, luckily.
Yeah.
So we got into the building, and then he realizes my ID was stuck to my lanyard that has my key on it, and my roommate has locked the door and is asleep.
That's when you bang as hard as possible.
So we were banging on that door so loud that the RA woke up. And his roommate didn't wake up. His roommate didn't unlock the door.
What the?
His RA comes out of his room and was like, "What's going on?" We're like, lost his key and we can't get into his bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
So the RA used the spare key and unlocked the door finally. And we got SoundCloud Rapper into his room, tucked him into bed, and was like, "Peace.
We're gonna leave you here.
We're gonna leave you here. Don't die."
He has no choice. He can't walk.
Speaking of please stay, he apparently didn't stay. I got a message from his roommate, because me and his roommate were pretty close friends, saying, "Hey, thank you for dropping SoundCloud Rapper off last night. He fell asleep in the shower, and I found him the next morning, and the bathroom was flooded."
Wait, like the girls' bathroom or the boys' bathroom?
The boys' bathroom.
Okay.
His roommate found him.
In the shower.
In the shower. So his roommate woke up and realized that he wasn't back and was like worried. Went to the bathroom and heard the water running and saw like the bathroom was flooded. And so he's like, "Hello? Like, is anyone in here?" And SoundCloud Rapper was like, "Hi, what's up?" And he's like, "Hey, did you like fall asleep in here?" He's like, "Yeah. Kenna brought me home last night. So I don't know what happened. I don't even know how he was conscious enough to get up out of his bed and go try to take a shower."
Let me tell you, there is a nice stain on my bedroom carpet that can tell you otherwise. Once you're blacked out, for some reason your legs start working again. Because my brother found in the bathtub the next day, and I could not walk. So I don't know how I made it to the bathtub. So,
okay, prom.
We're probably going to end off the video if we don't have much time. But we want to talk about prom because prom was a really interesting night.
Prom was so interesting.
So, we got all dressed and everything. I was ready to go. I got my hair, my makeup, my dress. I sewed it. I had 6-inch heels. The highest heels I've ever had. And boy, did my legs hurt after that. So, me, Kenna, and all of our mutual friends, including our dates, we did pre-photo prom. And then we went to prom. They dropped us off and we walked in. And so we kind of got our bearings and everything, but by then, I was gone. I am not good in social situations, so I was pretty out of it.
Let's specify, this was college prom.
Oh, this was college prom.
So we were 20.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was wearing this really pretty green, like flowery dress. I still have it. I'm in love with that dress and I need another reason to wear it. I was wearing these like white lace-up wedges and I felt so good about myself. I had like this green makeup with like a green wing. I was wearing like these really thick eyelashes. I felt so good about myself.
You looked great.
But thank you. The night before, my ex-boyfriend broke up with me.
Oh.
And so I was like not in the mood to go. But Hannah and our mutual friend convinced me to go. And they're like, "Hey, just have a good time. You know, like forget about him. It's okay." I was like, "Okay, but if I'm going to go, I'm going to be tipsy."
Yeah.
Let's just say I was more than tipsy. Before we even got there, I had already drank like half of a Four Loko and a shot of Fireball.
Yeah, by the time we were doing photos, we were already there.
Yeah, we were already like drunk. So we were pre-gaming. So we get there.
So when we got there, we basically checked in. Some people reserved, and I did not. So some people walked in, and then we went to the bathroom real quick, and then eventually we got in. We both do not remember what the back of the prom looks like.
No.
I remember what 3 of the walls look like, and that's it. The back of it?
No.
I have no idea.
I remember the food and our tables. I don't even remember like how we got to the bathroom. I don't even know where the bathroom was.
The bathroom was like when you walked in and then you went straight to the left.
Okay.
But basically, I didn't even have food. I didn't do nothing at this prom. I was just so out of it. As soon as they started playing music, I was just on the dance floor and we were dancing.
We were dancing.
They did the Cupid Shuffle. They did what was the other one?
Cotton Eye Joe.
Cotton Eye Joe.
They played like an entire album of Big Time Rush.
Yes! And literally a guy stopped me while we were dancing and he's just like, "You're really good." And in my head I was like, "Really? Because I'm really drunk right now."
I remember when the Cotton Eye Joe hopped on and you were like, "Come dance with me." I'm like, "I don't know how to do the Cotton Eye Joe." And I like was looking at you guys and I got the dance down pat and was doing it perfect within like 2 seconds. And to this day, sober me cannot do the Cotton Eye Joe. Drunk me was like, "Yeah, I can do it. I can do it. It's fine."
It's not a hard dance to learn.
No.
So by the end of prom, we were getting really fed up with Kenna. No hate towards Kenna though, we love her.
No,
But she was in a bad place. And so we were getting really fed up. Do you want to explain what was going on?
I had made a promise to Hannah and our mutual friend that I would drink but not get blackout because I was already upset and I was already in a bad mood and I was already complaining all night about not wanting to be there. And I knew that as soon as I got too drunk, I would be all over the place. Well, I was about to open up another drink. And our mutual friend looks at me and goes, "No, you've had enough. Just sit for a few hours and then let it like wear off and then you can drink some more. Like I'm watching out for you." I look at her, I poke a hole in it, shotgun it, flip her off, and was like, "You can't tell me what to do."
Excuse me, you left a little bit out there.
Oh yeah, and I burped in her face.
And then you burped in her face.
Oh, yeah.
And that was when we were done with Kenna.
And that was when, like, they were already annoyed with me because I was complaining a lot.
It's okay.
So yeah, that's when you two were like, "Okay, we need to go."
So me and our mutual friend, we were like, let's just ditch both of our dates and Kenna and let's run out of this prom. And both of us were in heels. So we're like, let's get out. Let's go. And so we tried getting to the closest place that we could where she couldn't see us. So we ran to our mutual friend's dorm and they told us that there was a party going on and we were like, okay. So I have no idea how we got to this party. I assume one of them drove us.
I barely remember how.
We got to the party and it was the sorority again. So everyone was in a circle and someone was like dancing in the middle and we were going, "Hey, like, yeah." And then all of a sudden, Kenna walks in and me and our friend look at each other and we're like, "What's going on right now?" I'm like, "How did Kenna get here? Did she just fly here?" I have no idea.
So my side of the story is, once Hannah and our mutual friend left, it took me like 30 minutes to realize that you guys were like not coming back. I thought that you guys had just went to the bathroom. And so your dates were like, "Yeah, no, they left. Like I see their location. They're at their friend's dorm."
Really?
And I was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Oh, okay, whatever." So I didn't think anything of it. I was like, "Yeah, probably deserved." So I went and hung out with one of my friends and my roommate at the time. Not my roommate that I said other stories about. This is a new roommate that I had. I switched dorms. So I was hanging out with them, and my roommate was like, "Hey, I just got a message that there's a sorority party." I was like, "Oh, okay, that's cool. I'm probably just gonna stay." And she was getting ready, and I was so jealous. I was like, "She's getting ready to go to another party. Like, I want to drink more. I want to have fun. Everyone's probably gonna be there."
Yeah.
She was walking out the door, and I yelled at her, and I was like, "Wait!" And I threw on a crop top and sweatpants and went with her. And like 10 minutes after getting to the party, I look in the crowd and just see Hannah and our mutual friend across the room. And I'm like, okay, how did they get here? So I walked up to only Hannah and was ignoring our other friend because I know that she was mad at me and I knew that she probably wouldn't talk to me. So I was just talking to Hannah the entire night, like nothing happened. You know, it was a good night. Party was like basically over. Hannah and our mutual friend had already left. There was like probably like 10 people in that room max. Like the sorority girls and the sorority boys and me and our roommate. Well, my roommate. She was like getting ready to leave and I'm like, "No, I think I'm gonna stay and hang out with some of my friends here." And she's like, "Oh, okay, how are you gonna get home?" I'm like, "Oh, my friend has a car." So I was partying for a while with them, just chilling in the living room. We were literally watching like the Kevin Hart documentary. It was so like chill. Then the night rolls by and I realized that my friend that had a car was sleeping in her room.
Right.
So I was like, okay, I'll just walk. And I don't remember walking to my dorm. And I didn't get to my dorm I walked past my ex-boyfriend's house, not the one that had just broken up with me, the one that broke up with me a while ago.
Right.
Before this ex. So I went over to his dorm, just casually, like nothing happened. Like I just messaged him and was like, "Hey, are you up? Like I'm walking past your dorm," and he messaged me immediately and goes, "Yeah, fine. Like let's hang out." Woke up in his dorm. Realized I woke up in his dorm, and did not hesitate. I got up when he was still sleeping and left and blocked him.
Oh my gosh. You didn't tell me that.
Yeah, because I regret it.
Oh.
So I.
Oh, and you're gonna have to tell me who it is after this.
I will. So you'll probably know after I say this, but so I unblocked him a few days later, and because I realized that he saved us a couple times.
Oh.
So I just messaged him. I'm like, "Hey, I'm sorry. I was drunk last night. Like, I realized this was a mistake. Blah blah blah." And now we're great friends. We're fine. We're chill. But that's how my prom night ended.
I think I know who it is.
Yeah, that's how my prom night ended. So I think we're gonna end this video here.
Yes. So that's many of the college experiences we had.
Yeah, and this is episode 1 of Two Girls, Two Cities. Definitely also comment down below some topics that you want us to talk about, because we're still trying to come up with different topics.
Also, especially if you have questions about being a college dropout, or especially someone who had to leave college early, we both are in that boat.
We can do an entire episode on that because we both left the same year.
Yes, so we can explain how it's been hard.
But how it's been good. Yeah, but thanks for watching.
Thank you. We can talk about so many other different things. Just give us a topic and we'll talk the shit out of it.
And I promise the quality will eventually get better. We're still figuring this all out.
Oh yeah. But we love you. Happy Valentine's Day, by the way. This is filmed at, I don't have a time.
Still Valentine's Day.
Is it?
Yeah, it's 11/24.
11/24 on Valentine's Day. So we love you, whoever you are. Thank you for watching.
Hope you had a good Valentine's Day.
And we will definitely bring some more videos later. Bye!
I would suck a singular toe for a soft pretzel.